Y'all ready? Awesome weekend. I think Louisville has a good club. We played really well. To get sweeps like that is really hard to do, which is amazing me the most about this team. We're not done yet, so obviously we want to keep playing well. I thought Aiden was sharp. We had the 6-run inning, which was no fun, but I thought he had great stuff. I thought he was the sharpest of our starters, and it was probably because he pitched against Campbell. And then Ben Peterson. I mean, Lord have mercy, he looked like a second rounder today. And I told the team, there's a reason. The kid's in the rotation, keeps his nose down, keeps working, doesn't come up and knock on my door. Hey, how can I pitch more? What am I doing wrong? He just keeps working because he's older. He believes in the team. He believes in what we're doing. He's being rewarded for it. I thought we had great at bats for the most part throughout the entire order. Parks is over and he stung that ball about won the game potentially, and Vance got us going, shocker. And Luke Stevens, 8 RBIs. I hadn't looked at the box score. When's the last time somebody had 8 RBIs?
Last year.
Horvath?
Yeah.
If it would be somebody, it would be Horvath. But a great win. Really excited. I think we won the division from what everybody tells me, but, I'm never going to be Nick Saban. I'm humble enough to know that. But I sure can try to do everything that he's done. So I've talked to our guys about the importance of being process-oriented, and outcomes can be distractions. Don't get caught up in it, and we're going to get here tomorrow and get back after it. So, but a good weekend.
How do you explain the overwhelming success at home this season?
Honestly, I still think it goes back. I know we played well going into Wake, but I don't know if we lose that series, who knows what our confidence level is like, because winning does help. It's contagious. That really, we played well at home, obviously, but to win it there, to sweep there, and, our guys are human beings. We won a lot of games at North Carolina, and, I think they felt like, hey, we're better than people think we are. And since that day, and hopefully we'll continue the whole season, they've played with that chip, like, we want to show everybody that. So that's how I explain it. Like, they just work their every living tail off. I think they can win on the road too, and we might have to. So, if we get in Omaha, it's on the road, so hopefully we'll be good if we make it out there.
But how much is the possibility of regionals and supers at home make it look like an appealing path, considering how well you've done at home?
Yeah, well, your goal is, I was a part of that 17 team too that were so good. We basically just kicked everybody's tail, and I learned a lot from that. We haven't been in the regional in a while. Thankfully for this team, we've been in the regionals. But you want to prepare the guys daily and not get caught up in too much. Yeah, you want to play at home because that makes you better. It should make you better. You want to host a regional, you want to host a super regional, but you can't host a super regional unless you win a regional. And the regional is the hardest thing to win in college baseball because of the format. So, but obviously, we'd all much rather play at the Bosh and sleep in our own beds and be on the road.
When you look at the weekend, and I know you as a coach, you try to figure out what we can get better at. When you do what you just did there, what is that? What does that look like?
That's where, from the first meeting, we have two things that we talk about. It's Boshamer's quote about the team. That's on every email since I've been the head coach. And then more this year than I ever have, just reminding them what exactly being process-oriented is and what it means. And it literally is, every day's a new day. It's a blessing. You can't walk out of here if you do lose 2 games like we did at NC State and shoulder slump and be down in the dumps, and you can't walk out of here today like you've done anything. We watch a video from Nick Saban all the time called Nothing, and he gets up there and says, every day nobody's entitled to anything. So that's how I just told him, like, hey, great job, but we still have to get better. We have to get stronger. How do you do that? You get your sleep, you do all those little things. But you look at that game, obviously there's 1 or 2 things I'm always going to find that I feel like we need to do better. That's my job as a coach, and we'll work on that. Harbor's got to make those plays. Can't let the ball play him. He can learn from Johnny making a heck of a play there at the end. So just continue to get better on those. The small things is what you're working on. If you haven't hit home runs, great. But the base running, taking a dirt ball read, turning a double play, backing up the right base, those type of things.
What does it say to Aiden's resilience that he gives up 2 homers in the 5th, but is able to make it through the whole inning?
Yeah, he's competitive. You can see it out there in him, and he's got great stuff. Sometimes when you're scoring that many runs, it's more of a challenge. You may sit longer. The 8-run inning, he sat forever. I thought he kept his foot on the gas. If we make a couple plays here or there, I think it's 3 runs maybe. You know, they might have still hit the home run, but even then, that ball was off the end and it carried out in the wind. But it's been impressive. I mean, there aren't, you know, I don't believe, my dad raised me like, you're going to care about the team first and you're not ever going to make excuses. Like, that was just, and you're going to be positive. But, you know, we lost 2 Friday night starters, and that's not easy. But our team has really stepped up, and a guy like Aiden Hals being able to move into the rotation, and then other guys being better and better out of the bullpen, like a Ben Peterson. Even Connor didn't have his success today, but he's gotten some big outs for us, as well as Kyle Percival. So that's been the backbone of our program this year. Is like, okay, these guys are out. We just got to all step up and do better.
How has Ben really stepping up, especially today after losing Knapp and Folger, just helped that much more?
Well, I mean, he starts against William and Mary, and I'm like, man, now you don't get that success and throw the ball like that. And that's credit to Coach Howell and Coach Gaines, because they've worked really hard. If you looked at his delivery earlier, it was a slower lift, using his weapons different, switching his grip on his fastball, trying to get ahead in the count, using the curveball more. He's thrown a lot of curveballs. I mean, even threw some splits today, but you know, I think that showed like, okay, now he really feels like he knows where the ball's going and he's pitching more. And then that carried over into the bullpen. But that's, I mean, the stuff just doesn't lie. I mean, that is wipeout stuff, strikeout stuff, closer stuff, weekend starter stuff. So that gives us another weapon to go to, which is going to be huge for us, because you got to have those horses on the mound.
That sort of process-oriented approach you talked about, and that's probably been the biggest refrain about this team all season long. I mean, like, how quickly did that really start to come across to you when coming off a kind of crazy off-season, putting that team together?
You know what? I've preached it since I got the job. Obviously, the first year, you know, we're 1 game above 500. So you lay in the bed like, okay. But that's just been the way it has been since I've been here. We've had guys that have been here, and the other guys have been here 3 years. But then you have to like really talk about it, and then you have to live it as a head coach. So like, if I'm preaching this and we get walked off by Butterworth at NC State, and then I'm Debbie Downer and I'm negative, well, those words are going to be gone, just like anybody. So it's sticking to it as a staff, controlling our emotions in the dugout during those times, because at the end of the day, you find out the most about yourself when the crap hits the fan in some way, situation, whether or not it's in life or in the dugout. So that starts with me, number one. So hopefully I've gotten better at that. But then the team understanding, if you're at North Carolina, if this is the place you choose to be at, you've got to keep the team first. That's part of that process, being oriented. And if it's all about, friends, if it's just about playing and you getting drafted, this ain't going to be the place for you, because when the game starts, our goal is going to be to put those guys on the field that are going to help us win the game. Seniors, 5th years, freshmen, whatever.
Last one.
With Luke, I mean, he has to catch the game, he has to manage the game there, and he gets up at the plate. And I believe he leads the team in walks, and then he's hitting the way he does as well.
And he's in the 8-hole. Good night. Reminds me of Grandal was in the 8-hole in 2008 at Miami, so that's good company. I mean, we knew it. The coaches saw Luke before I did, and they said we have to have this kid in recruiting. And then we had to figure out a way to get him here. Because he was talking, you know, to a lot of teams, and he could be a high draft pick. He went out to the combine, and Matt Horvath, the type of kid he is, went out of his way to talk to him and tell him like the importance of why you should go to school. But we saw that part of it. He works his tail off. You know, I'm still working on him hard on his base running, which we're getting better at, right, Luke? But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too about. I mean, that's another thing about Ben. Like, here's a kid that could have signed. You know, he got offered more than $50,000. Like, he had a chance to sign professionally. And when you come back for the right reasons, you know, if you come back for the wrong reasons and it's all about you, you don't have the success that they've had. But Luke Stevenson is a leader. He works every single day. He's trying to get better. And, you know, I mean, be a freshman in this league and to do what he's done has been extremely impressive. And he's got a really good guy beside him who's kind of mentored him in Haskin. You know, Haskin's phenomenal. He started at Elon. He made a decision to come here. He knew that Luke was here, but he's a big reason too, probably more than I am, that Luke is where he is, honestly.
Thanks, Coach.